Pax wardrobe, the tall version. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to assemble a Pax wardrobe from IKEA. This is actually my new master bedroom in my new apartment, and I got the 100 centimeter wide by, I think it's 53 deep by 237 centimeter tall Pax wardrobe, and this is basically the DIY mix and match system by IKEA. So they have a narrower version, they have a 2-door version, they have a 1-door version, they have a corner version, and also I got the taller version. There's a 200 centimeter version, which is obviously tall, but there's an even taller version which is 236 centimeters. And the key thing there is to make sure that your ceiling is tall enough to assemble. That's actually like rule number 1 in the instructions, is check how tall your ceiling is, because obviously you're going to assemble this thing on the ground and tip it up, and you want to make sure that it doesn't hit the ceiling. Second thing to be careful of is this is super heavy. So just the shell of the cabinet, not including the doors, not including the shelving inside, but just the shell is super heavy. So I had enough trouble getting this thing in by myself. When the mover guy comes in, he actually was carrying it on his back, but I slid it across the floor to get it from the living room back into here. So be careful. Obviously, if you can get some help, get some help. I'm doing it all by myself because I'm always filming for you guys. But anyway, enjoy, and also be careful, don't hurt your back. So anyway, let's get started. As far as the final version I'm going to do, I'm going to have one mirrored door and one plain one because I didn't want to pay for 2 mirrors. And then also I have the pull-out roller shelves. And so pretty simple. I didn't go for all the fancy, options in here. But let's see how it looks, and I'll talk about the price at the end. 3, 2, 1, go. So here you can see the Pax frame in all its glory. Here in Hong Kong, just this part costs like 890 Hong Kong, so that's like $120 almost. That's probably cheaper in the US. Yeah, so because I got the 100 centimeter wide by 58 centimeter deep by 237 centimeter wide frame, it is pretty heavy, as I said. It takes up a lot of space. Make sure you have enough space. In this case, I'm really, really glad I put this together before I put the bed and the other furniture in this room. Otherwise, I would have been screwed. So anyway, be careful. Doing it by yourself is not that bad. Just watch your back, especially during the lifting part. And the other thing is make sure that it will actually fit into the space you want. So if you remember at the beginning, I said I was going to stick it over there behind the door in this kind of cubby hole, but there's kind of a crook to get into it, and I didn't realize until after everything was assembled, though, even though it's wide enough, it's 110 centimeters, it's only 100 centimeters, but it's a tight squeeze, and you can't put this thing in and then rotate it, because the diagonal, because it's so deep, is actually too much. So I kind of screwed myself. Luckily, I have plenty of extra space in this room, so I'm just going to stick it in the corner here, and I have 2 other wardrobes, 2 other smaller brims ones, which I can stick one of them there and one of them here, or one of them over there, and move the crib over here. So we'll see how that works out. But clearly I measured really well, but I didn't think about the actual procedure for getting it in place. And this thing is huge, so be careful about that. So as far as the assembly, this part goes, as you can see, it's not that hard to do by yourself. Way easier with the second person. Getting that back in there, because it's so floppy, was actually pretty challenging. I just took the cardboard that came with it and kind of laid it across the corners, and I did screw up a few times, which I didn't put in. But basically, 2 people. Definitely try 2 people. Putting all those little tacks on the back is just annoying. There's like over 50 of them. I didn't even use them all, but they really want you to put them like every 6 inches all the way around. So your mileage may vary, but I think if you don't push on the back too much, it's probably okay. The other thing is when you're assembling, obviously the doors and everything, you're going to need a step ladder. I'm going to put 2 Komplement shelves, which are basically just bare shelves. One of them is going to be close to the top, so above kind of arm level, just for kind of longer term storage, not things that you want to reach every day. Because obviously you need a step ladder to get to them. And then from about, I guess, this height and down, I will have 1 more shelf and then 3 of those pull-out basket type shelves. I guess it's kind of like a mesh thing. And then just a hanging rod there. Let's get to that. 3, 2, 1, go. One thing, just because I forgot to mention it before, be really careful if you're using like an electric screwdriver on these, because these are all particle board and it's really cheap wood, and also the hardware, the screws are pretty cheap. There's a lot of opportunity to strip things or cross-thread things. So when you haven't been looking, I've actually been cheating a few times and used it just to get a bunch of screws drilled in all at once, especially the ones in an awkward position all the way in the back. But yeah, be very careful and definitely tighten it all the way by hand. Only use the electric screwdriver to kind of like save some labor, but don't do it for strength or for completeness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Should be something like 12 holes from the top. Is that possible? I think they put too many holes. There's not that many holes on them. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, here we are, almost done. 2 more things. Basically, we need the hanger rod, which screws in with these guys, and I'll put it somewhere around here. Let's see how that looks. You can obviously move it up and down. And I need doors. So you don't have to have doors on this guy, but I got doors anyway. I got 1 mirror door and 1 non-mirror door. So I guess I'll put the mirror there and the non-mirror. We'll see. Anyway, here's the shelves, and obviously this one you can adjust the height. So I'm not sure if that's really that usable space, but I didn't want to make it too much lower. That's where we are right now. Let's keep going and go. Okay. Okay, half done. Okay, so I've got the white wooden door in place, and that's actually the back side of the mirror. First of all, the mirror door is pretty heavy, so be careful. It also is pretty flexible. All these pieces, because this thing is so tall, like the walls and the back and stuff, it's actually, bowing because of the height. Until you have it all together, it's not very rigid. So be careful, especially with the glass mirror door, because if you just picked it up from one end and the other end was was not lifted up, you might bow it so much that it were to break or something, so be really careful. Also be careful just not dropping it or anything like that. Let me talk a little bit about the hinges that you need to connect. So this actually comes separate. If you order the doors, you can get it with or without the hinges, obviously. Don't forget to get the hinges. But it's a Komplement door hinge set of 4, but for some reason one of them, it looks like this, and 3 of them look like this. So that's actually, so you can see the difference. This is like the soft closing one. It's got this weird IKEA logo rubber thing that kind of pops up as it closes. Let me try to get it there. So, so this rubber kind of makes it close softer, I guess. Let me do this one. Ow, this one actually is pretty sharp. I didn't cut my finger. Ow. For some reason, though, they do 3 of these and 1 of these. I guess they don't need 4 of them like that. They want one to really lock it. Something weird, but they didn't do 2 and 2. The other thing is, for some reason, the mirrored one, in my case, came with a door handle, which obviously is a good idea because this is way too tall to like pull from the top or anything. So, but the weird thing is the wooden one didn't come with anything. So I don't know if I ordered 2 wooden doors, would I be SOL or what? But here's the metal one, and you can see actually it's already got fingerprints on it. So that probably after a while will get covered in fingerprints and grease and whatnot, so you won't even notice it. But yeah, and then it'll only be on one side, so you have to pull it open to get the other door out. But the weird thing also is there's no pre-drilled holes for these screws that go through these holes to go in. So you have to, I guess, pick your height. It's not in the middle, just wherever you want it to be. If you're really short, you can put it low. If you're really tall, you want to put it high. But you have to drill. Okay, so anyway, back to work. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, here we are. Yeah, not too bad. So that's with the door. Like I said, it's a little bit tricky getting these doors hung on correctly because they are heavy, especially the mirror one. So you've got to kind of hold it up, start screwing the middle 2, get the other one going, get that one going. I had a lot of trouble getting the screw on the bottom one, so I had to take it out, put it back in, lift the door, move it around. So anyway, long story short, get some help. Other things, there's the latch. As you can see, I only have one right now. So apparently from the instructions, for the wooden ones, you have a lot of options on knobs and rails and stuff like that. So you're supposed to get them on your own and figure it out. But in this case where you're mixing and matching, I guess I can probably try to find another one of these little curved handle things and put it on that side if I want it to be even, or I just live with one. So anyway, there's a lot of fingerprints showing up already, as you can see. So just be careful. With kids, it's going to be, at least maybe they'll only be from here down, but it's going to be a mess. Other than that, I'm still thinking about whether I want to move this bottom mesh shelf up and move the whole thing up and leave some space for shoes down there, or what, I don't know, but I can obviously change that anytime I want. This one, when I was up there adjusting the hinge, I noticed it's actually only like maybe 9 inches or so, so it could definitely be more, so I might drop this one down a little bit because I do have a lot of space here. So I might do one or I might do both. I probably won't do both, but anyway, so if you have shoe boxes or something like that up here, probably fine. If you wear boots once a year, keep them up there. And of course, in this case, we have really high ceilings, so I have quite an amount of space above it too. So I'll probably put some storage boxes up there as well. These are kind of cheap. I'm afraid they could break. This one seems pretty good. Here's one design disappointment. Look at how flexible this baseboard is. Like, it totally flexes when you push it, and you're definitely going to hit this with your foot at some point in time. Yeah, they could have put an extra dowel pin in here or something, but too cheap, I guess. So yeah, that's definitely a design weakness. Okay, so what do you think? Have you tried this one? It is a pain in the butt. One of the cool things is, for better or for worse, there's a million different combinations you can do on the inside. So you could get a divider, you can get multiple like pull-out jewelry shelves, you can get all kinds of stuff. So it's all up to you. This is what I thought was the most cost effective, because especially when you start getting to sliding glass doors and all this kind of stuff, this thing can actually get super expensive. As it is right now configured, I'll put all the prices up here, but I'm guessing it was like upwards of like $500. If I had gone full out, it would be probably double that. So anyway, one of the nice things, I guess, about the fact that I put it in the wrong place is that I can actually add additional units or move it around as needed. So it's going to stay here for now. I probably will move it closer to the window. But other than that, it'll stay here, and I might eventually get a second one to go over here. But anyway, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions or comments, if I screw anything up, do let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Having the stroller with me all the time up in the overhead bin. As soon as we get off the plane, pull it out, unfold it, and walk off. Literally that could save you 15-20 minutes right there.